Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a reaction for Tristana, the Yordle Gunner. If this is your first time here, we're going to take a look at Tristana's story and biography first. We'll move on to her gameplay abilities, take a look at any cinematics that Tristana appears in, then we'll move on and do the skins, the wiki, and finally end off with voice lines at the very end, and we'll have everything chaptered out at the bottom if you want to take a look at a certain section. But of course, I would love for you to join us for the entire video. A few things I know about Tristana. She has appeared in some of the cinematics we've seen before. I have played TFT, and you know, she's generally somebody that I've used in TFT, so I know she has like a giant cannon as her gun. And I think that's really it. Obviously, Yordle. And yeah, that's honestly it. I mean, I don't really know anything about her personality. I don't know anything about her background. So let's go ahead and dive into Tristana's origin, and of course, grab a snack, grab a drink. Let's go ahead and dive in here. All right, her quote says, "Boomer says hi." I'm gonna guess that is what she calls her cannon or her gun. Role is marksman, region Bandle City, and our related champions are Teemo and Rumble. That makes sense. All right, the paragraph says, while many other Yordles channeled their energy into discovery, invention, or just plain mischief making, Tristana was always inspired by the adventures of great warriors. She had heard much about Runeterra, its factions, and its wars, and believed her kind would become worthy of legend too. Setting foot in the world for the first time, she took up her trusty cannon, Boomer, and now leaps into battle with steadfast courage and optimism. Okay, I mean, the part here where it says Tristana was always inspired by the adventures of great warriors, it reminds me a little bit of Poppy, I guess, just because like Poppy was kind of into the same thing, I guess. Like most Yordles, Tristana was always fascinated by the world beyond Bandle City. She traveled far and wide, full of wonder and enthusiasm for the varied places, people, and creatures she encountered. Using the hidden pathways that only Yordles know, she explored the length and breadth of the material realm, remaining mostly unseen. She witnessed such breathtaking sights as ice trolls migrating across the flows of the far north, beneath kaleidoscopic auroras. She marveled as warships blasted each other to pieces in naval battles that churned the seas. She watched awestruck as great armies marched with unity and precision, incredibly strange concepts to a Yordle, across the endless sands to the south. We probably have mention of like either Noxus and Ionia here with warships. Obviously, we have the Freljord, and obviously we have Shurima down here. But Tristana's carefree, wandering ways changed the day she witnessed the destruction of a Bandlewood. These places are steeped in the magic of the gateways they grow around, giving Yordles a safe haven from the world. Tristana, dozing in the dappled sunshine, was shaken awake as the trees around her began to burn and topple. A warband of armored marauders rampaged through the woodland with fire and axes, led by a sorcerer wreathed in dark energy. Tristana hid in horror. The sorcerer focused his power upon the portal at the heart of the Bandlewood, speaking one final utterance. Her ears still ringing with pain, Tristana watched the gateway collapse, never to be opened again. The ripples of that destruction were felt in Bandle City itself, causing great despair among the Yordles. Oh, what is going on here? Do I know what's happening? Tristana had never experienced anything like the pain of this loss or the guilt she felt for not acting. Never again would she allow such a terrible thing to happen. In that moment, she dedicated herself to become the guardian of all Bandlewoods and her fellow Yordles. Tristana had often marveled at how mortals protected the things that were dear to them. While she couldn't comprehend their reasons to guard shiny metals or walls of stone, she respected their methods and decided to emulate them. Other Yordles watched with curiosity as she took to marching around the borders of Bandle City, stern-faced and watching out for danger. She started calling her food rations and set herself strict times for rest and relaxation. Oh, she's like role-playing here, but taking it very serious. But something was missing. In her travels, she had seen many powerful inventions, including the black powder cannons of Bilgewater. Inspired by them, she collected enough precious metal discs to commission a gun suited to her diminutive size. With a wry smile, she named it Boomer. Since then, Tristana had defended the Bandlewoods with innumerable threats. In the jungles of the Serpent Isles, she intervened in a clash between the local Buru people and treasure hunters from Valorant that was getting too close to a hidden portal, sending them all running for their lives after she leapt into their midst, Boomer roaring. That's pretty funny. And in the burning deserts at the edge of Shurima, she destroyed a void horror after it began consuming a secret Bandlewood oasis, killing it with an explosive bomb down the gullet. Tristana has become something of a legend in Bandle City, and recently a number of Yordles have started to imitate her, trying, and mostly failing, to copy her disciplined ways. Some have even had weapons mimicking Boomer constructed for them by the scrappy inventor Rumble, who is always seeking to win Tristana's approval. Why is he always seeking to win her approval? Does Rumble have a crush? What's going on? While Tristana finds this all rather embarrassing, she has come to the conclusion that if they are going to defend the pathways to Bandle City, they had better do it properly. As such, she has started training these new recruits, and they have adopted a new moniker, the Bandle Gunners. Oh, I feel like I've heard that, maybe. Nevertheless, Tristana can often be found out in the wilds on patrol by herself, simultaneously protecting the Bandlewoods and also getting away from her new and rather annoying trainees. Okay, so she's inspired some people in Bandle City. She's also protecting the Bandlewoods, the portals, all the random, things happening in the world of Valorant and Runeterra and everything, ever since she saw one get destroyed by a sorcerer. Now, do we know who this sorcerer is? is that actually destroyed the portal. Who was this? Like, why did they do this? I have no idea. Maybe I'm forgetting something in the noggin here that I actually do know what happened there or who did it. So yeah, drop that in the comments. Other than that, I feel like this is a pretty cool little intro. You know, she's inspired people in Bandle City. She has her gun named Boomer, and she's just, you know, she's doing her thing and patrolling and protecting Bandle City and the Bandlewood portals. All right, let's move on to her story. All right, let's get into our story. It's called A Quiet Night, and we have a little bit of art here of Tristana. The fire was crackling away nicely, spreading a warm glow throughout the forest clearing. Tristana lay on her back with her head pillowed on her pack, watching a comet streak across the starlit sky. The winking lights glittered pettily through a swaying canopy of birch and oak leaves. The humans liked to name the patterns in the stars. She'd seen some in an old book in Heimerdinger's laboratory, but she decided it would be more fun to give them names of her own invention. Oh, okay. So, you know, she hung out with Heimerdinger at some point. You can be the growling badger, she said, pointing to the group of stars, and you can be the cheeky changeling. Yes, that's much better than boring names like the warrior or the defender. And anyway, I can't see those ones anymore. Her stomach rumbled and she sat up. Hunger was still something surprising to her. Even though she'd ventured beyond Bandle City more than most of her kind, a pair of spitted fish were roasting nicely over the flames, and the smell of them was making her mouth water. She'd shot them in the stream to the west of her campsite with a single exceptionally carefully aimed bullet from her cannon. Not a bad feat of marksmanship, even if she did say so herself. Too bad no one was around to see it. She leaned over and patted the polished drakewood stock of her exquisitely crafted cannon, a weapon any sensible observer would say was far too large for someone of her diminutive stature to even carry, let alone shoot. Let Timo have his cute little blowpipes, eh, Boomer? She told the cannon. I'll stick to something with a bit more oomph, thank you very much. The fire crackled in a ring of stones, burning with cerulean flames, thanks to the pinch of her custom powder she'd sprinkled on the kindling to get it started. She knew now just how little she needed to use after her first time in the uplands, and it cost her a perfectly decent pair of eyebrows. Sometimes it was hard to remember that things were so different in the human world compared to back home. Deciding the fish were ready, she slid one from the spit onto a wooden plate she removed from her pack. She unwrapped a golden knife and fork from a rolled dream leaf and cut the fish into slices. She might be on a mission, but that didn't mean she had to eat like a savage. She took a mouthful of fish and rolled it around her mouth, savoring the taste and licking her lips in satisfaction. Ew. I'm imagining doing that with fish, and that is just something I would not do with fish. Mortal food was usually bland and tasteless compared to the smorgasbord of flavors she was used to, but the fish in this part of the world, Ionia, she heard it was called, wasn't half bad. Perhaps it was the magic saturating every element of this landscape that made them extra tasty. Okay. Confirmed extra tasty fish in Ionia. Tristana heard the crack of a twig, one of many she'd laid in a circle around her camp. The sound and type of twig told her exactly how far away the humans were and from which direction they were approaching. She cleared her throat and called out, I have another fish if you're hungry. A man and a woman emerged from the forest in front of her. Both were tall and lean with fidgeting hands and cold eyes. They didn't look friendly, but she was still learning how to read human expressions, and she'd been taught to always be polite. Human languages were so unsophisticated that she often wondered how they managed to communicate at all. Okay, so they might not be friendly, we'll see. The man took a step forward and said, Many thanks, old one, but we are not hungry. Old one, said Tristana with a playfully indignant grin. I'm a young slip of a girl. The man blinked and she saw what might have been a look of puzzlement across his face. The old crone's insane, said the woman, looking sidelong at her, if not quite sure what to make of what she was seeing. Whatever it was, it certainly wasn't her true form. You're sure you don't want a bit of fish? Asked Tristana, taking another bite. It's really tasty. Wait, who are these guys? Okay. We're sure, confirmed the man, but we'll take any coin you're carrying, as well as that gun of yours. I suspect it'll fetch a pretty penny at auction. You want to steal my boomer? Said Tristana, sensing movement to either side. You know, I just don't see that happening. No, you're alone, and there's two of us, said the man, and we're bigger than you. Size isn't everything, said Tristana, and there's four of you. Why don't you ask your two bandit friends to come out? Maybe they're hungry. The woman shook her head. He told you we're alone. Oh, come on, said Tristana. What sort of commando do you think I'd be if I didn't know you had two friends in the bushes with arrows aimed at me right now? You came in from the north and split up 100 yards out. There's a fat man to my left and a man with a limp to my right. Good ears for one so old, said the man. I told you I'm not old, said Tristana. I'm actually pretty young for a yordle. Yeah, I feel bad. They keep calling her old. What the heck? The man's mouth dropped open in surprise as something of her true nature became apparent to him. Finally, an expression she had no trouble in reading. Tristana ducked and rolled to the side as a pair of black fletched arrows slashed from the undergrowth. They passed harmlessly overhead as she swept up Boomer and chambered around. She fired into the bushes to her right and was rewarded with a cry of pain. Blast off, she cried, vaulting toward the nearest tree and bounding higher. Tristana landed on a branch halfway up its trunk. Another arrow flashed toward her, thudding into the bark a handspan from her head. Hey, you're pretty fast for a human, she said, racking Boomer's crank and priming the barrel with a bunch of shells. She sprang away to another branch as the archer rose from the bushes, the fat one, which almost made it too easy. Tristana somersaulted from tree to tree and fired twice more. Both shots caught the man in his meaty thighs, and he fell back with a wail, loosing his arrow high into the air. Oh, don't be such a baby, she laughed. I barely grazed you. Okay, see, another story that would be fun as a cinematic, of course. Just to see like Tristana in action, you know? Tristana landed by her fire as the two humans she'd first seen rushed her with drawn swords. They were likely fast by human standards, but to her they moved like lumbering giants. Time for some up and over, shouted Tristana, unloading the rest of Boomer's barrel in one almighty blast into the ground. She gave a wild whooping yell as she sailed over their heads. Even as she arced through the air, she was reloading. She pushed off from the trunk of a tree and spun back to the ground. She landed right behind the bandits with a giggle. Boom, boom. So Tristana is very fast, we can see. Tristana fired 2 blasts, and both humans cried out in pain as they each took a wound to the rump. The woman fell flat on her face, beating her breeches as powder burned set them alight. She managed to pick up herself and flee into the bushes with her backside on fire. The man twisted as he dropped to the ground, scrambling away as she cranked Boomer's loading arm. He was making hand gestures he probably thought were some form of magical protection. You're no old woman, he said. I kept telling you that, said Tristana. They thought she was an old woman. Insane. I would be so offended as Tristana. The man opened his mouth to answer, but before he could speak, the arrow loosed from the fat man's bow finally came back down to earth. It thudded into the man's chest, and he fell back with a look of intense annoyance. The other bandits were dragging themselves away as fast as their wounded limbs could carry them. She let them go, grinning as she gathered up her things before stamping down the fire. I was just trying to eat my dinner and have a quiet night, she said to herself, but I guess 4 bandits who won't trouble anyone again soon isn't bad going. Tristana slung Boomer over her shoulder and set off once more, whistling a jaunty tune as she looked for more stars to name. That's a fun little, just a little story of Tristana during her adventures, right? She's just trying to have a quiet night, eat her fish. She even offered it to the people that were coming in, but she's like, nope, I guess not. So yeah, Tristana can take care of herself. I mean, I guess now that if I actually look at the artwork of Tristana, she does kind of, okay, we have the white hair, the gray hair, whatever you want to call it, right? So I guess I kind of see it. Even the devs are making a joke of humans thinking she's just an old lady. So I guess it's kind of hard to not see Tristana as an old lady now that there's a whole story around it. All right, let's learn about Tristana's abilities in game. So we're going to start off here with role, marksman, assassin, and difficulty being medium. And her gameplay spotlight's a little old, so I just wanted to check out her abilities page to make sure they were the latest up to date. So abilities, and again, I have actually used her in TFT, but that's just like basic attacking and then like the ultimate, right? So I don't know everything. All right, so passive is increases Tristana's attack range as she levels. Draw a bead. Oh, so range just gets higher. Okay. Rapid fire. Tristana fires her weapon rapidly. Okay, there we're seeing it. Increasing her attack speed for a short time. Okay, pretty simple. Next up is rocket jump. So that's probably what she used a little bit in the story to get around, or she's just very agile, right? So W is rocket jump. Tristana fires at the ground to propel her to a distant location, dealing damage and slowing surrounding units for a brief period where she lands. Oh, she literally shoots the ground to launch herself. Very cool. Next is explosive charge. Okay, so she just shoots an explosive cannonball instead. When Tristana kills a unit, her cannonballs burst into shrapnel, dealing damage to surrounding enemies. Can be activated to place a bomb on a target enemy that explodes after a short duration, dealing damage to surrounding units. And the very last one is the Buster Shot. Oh, holy. Wait, it actually launches them that far? Tristana loads a massive cannonball into her weapon and fires it at an enemy unit. This deals magic damage and knocks the target back. If the target is carrying the explosive charge bomb, the bomb detonation radius is doubled. Tom Kench just like literally disappears off our screen here. That's pretty funny. Okay, I mean, based off of these abilities, I feel like Tristana's got to be decently easy to use. Like the abilities don't seem complicated in any sense to me. I don't know if there's any sort of additional strategy. We are going to check out the Wild Rift trailer, though, just to get an idea of the abilities more. But you guys definitely let me know in the comments, how good is Tristana in the current meta? Did she have a point in time where she was overpowered? What are your guys' overall thoughts on Tristana just in the game in general? Okay, let's check out the Wild Rift trailer real fast for her.
Once a Vandal Gunner, always a Vandal Gunner.
Okay, there's an explosive. Yeah, there's the explosive cannonball. Explosive shot. Yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing of her, she's probably not too difficult to use. Pretty cool that her range literally increases with the higher the level you go. Obviously, it can't be too extreme as we're seeing here at level 15. Tristana would probably be somebody, like, if I were to play the game, that might be somebody that I would try to learn. I don't know. You guys would have to tell me if Tristana is just not, like, very good, or if she's not actually as easy as she looks. That might be the case. Okay. Going back to the rocket jump. Leap and damage enemy target or nearby targets. I feel like at some point, obviously, the nice thing about rocket jump is you can use it offensively and obviously defensively to get away. So that's pretty cool. Oh, it resets on a takedown. That's pretty nice. Reset with explosive charge. So it does have a couple resets for it. That's pretty cool. Gives her more mobility. Fire cannonball, knock enemy back. Yeah, it knocks them back real far, which I don't know, like, that's great and all, but also, what if I'm trying to finish off the kill, you know? Okay, we're seeing all the abilities at once here. Obviously, you want to keep your range with Tristana. Yeah, the rocket jumps are definitely very useful. Very useful. I mean, look at that. Might be her best ability, honestly.
Aim, fire.
Very cool. Okay. Ooh, I kind of like that skin. Makes her look less of a grandma. Like a grandma, right? Like from the story. All right, let's go ahead and check out Tristana now in Legends of Runeterra.
Tristana, going in.
Okay, 3 mana, 1/3. She has quick attack. I have +1/+0 for each multi-region ally you've summoned this game. Oh, when you summon a multi-region ally, grant it +1/+0 and level up when you've summoned +4 multi-region allies. Okay, this is cool because I haven't seen any sort of like text like this with multi-region stuff. That adds a cool element, I think.
Loaded and ready to rocket.
I don't know if that necessarily fits what I think would be on her card, but sure.
Engaging.
I guess maybe just because it goes around to multiple regions? Well, that would be my guess.
Let's go.
Bandle City Mayor.
Comb my mustache. Your esteemed mayor has arrived.
Seen a lot of Yordle cards here.
Cheer us on regardless.
You gotta play some multi-region cards here to level up.
Gunners get on jobs done.
Holding position.
Group shot.
Look at them, shaking in their boots.
That card looks hilarious. All right, I'm ready to see this level up animation.
Victory.
I'm gonna guess it's her doing like a rocket jump or something. That's my prediction.
I got your 6 shortcakes.
Love it, Big Mama.
Shortcakes.
Let's bring this home.
Hungry Owl Cat.
Blasting off. Bye-bye, bad guys.
Okay, that was pretty cool. It was just her obviously starting with a rocket jump, and then she was just like kind of firing off the cannon. Okay, 3 mana, 2/4, and she has the same thing still, but then it also grants them +1/+0 and impact for the additional teammates that she spawns in. Okay, 2/4 instead of a 1/3. Not very high on the attack side, but you keep getting the +1 attack. So obviously they didn't want to make it really high off the jump, since we get a lot of attack buffs anyhow.
Winners don't duck.
I like the art on the level up version. Man, okay, we're getting a lot of glimpses of these Yordle cards. I don't think I've seen a lot of these.
Why we fight.
They all seem really fun. We should have a lot of reactions, or I mean interactions with Tristana and some of these cards later on. So that should be exciting. Lots of voice lines.
The way the Bandle Gunners do.
I mean, so far, I will say, like, Tristana is giving kind of typical Yordle. I don't want to say, I don't know what typical Yordle really necessarily entails, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, you know? All right, of course, those of you that are playing Legends of Runeterra, I would love to hear how you think Tristana is in the game, how hard it is to have her level up with the multi-region thing and all that kinds of stuff. All right, guys, let's get into the skins here. We're going to be going through all of Tristana's skins, which it looks like she has a lot. We're going to start off with Fairy Court Tristana, her newest skin as far as I'm aware. So let's just dive right in. I mean, Fairy Court skins are very good. With all the falling leaves here, I definitely would want to use this during like the autumn and fall times for sure. That's a cool recall. There's the splash art looking good. All right.
Boomer says hi.
Oh, now wait a minute. I just realized, what even is Boomer here? It just looks like a giant jar. And is she shooting fairies? That makes sense. So it's like a fairy jar. Oh, I like the effects there when she landed. Yeah, that's really cool. And there's the stack. Nice. Oh, it gets bigger. Oh, look at it. It like evolves. That's actually really cool. Dang, it pushed it back so far. All right, taking out a tower. Oh, I didn't realize the tower could get all that too. What in the world is happening here? I guess we're seeing the effect on what's it called? It's their minions. Okay, next up is Spirit Blossom Tristana. The splash art is really good here. Let's see what kind of effects and stuff that we get.
Things are heating up.
Ooh, we're getting like a lotus flower, it looks like. Anytime it hits. And then like purple and pink colors. I like the mask on her head. I like her hair color here. And just like all of the overall, like the outfit and everything looks really cool. Like the color scheme overall for this Spirit Blossom looks solid. Oh, the sound effect is interesting. Is that supposed to be like something that I should recognize? I don't know. And then Boomer. Boomer looks like a... I don't know. What does Boomer look like in this one? Almost looks like a giant vase.
What's this?
Yeah, okay, we're seeing the effect on all the minions. Okay, that's kind of cool. Ooh, I like her like eyes in this one too. Oh, that's, oh that was cool. She was scooping them up like a vacuum. All right, that was a good recall. Oh, it has multiple recalls. Is that what's going on here? Oh, put a coin in the little thing. Okay, next up is Firecracker Tristana. I've always liked the Firecracker like skins, but I don't think I've actually ever picked one in my top 3. Maybe like once or twice. Okay, we got like a giant cat as Boomer. Obviously, the effects are like a firecrackers, fireworks. Makes sense. Oh, that's a cool effect when she lands like that too. Oh, it looks like, okay, Boomer is an actual like giant firework that is either supposed to be like a dragon or a cat. I'm not sure. I mean, she looks like a cat in this. So that's going to be my guess what she's going for here. Yeah, and you can see the effect and everything on the ground and the stack. It's a cat.
Boomer says hi.
Obviously, this one has your typical like orange red effects with the fireworks and firecrackers. All right, let's see the recall. I'm assuming firework. Launch the firework. Yeah, that's a perfect recall. That's exactly what I thought would happen. All right. Ooh, what is this? Is this? I was gonna say, is this Hex Tech? The splash art looks awesome. Oh, this is actually a cool Hex Tech. I feel like some of the Hex Tech skins, maybe I've just seen some like super old ones, but this one actually looks really good. I love how Boomer's just a giant like hex crystal though. I like her little hat too. It's kind of adorable. Oh. Oh, it's like a little like proximity mine almost as a stack. And then it just gets bigger. Cool. And then of course this one has your like blue and then like a darker blue kind of colors for the effects mostly. And let's see the recall. Oh. Very militarized recall, for sure. Makes sense with the outfit, right? Ooh, is this Pengu cosplay? I was gonna say pajama party, but no. Pengu cosplay. Tristana's got some solid skins, actually. Not sure what Boomer is. It just looks like a cannon. Kind of like a colorful cannon. And is she shooting little Pengus? It looks like she is. I mean, oh, those effects were so cool with like the stars and the rainbows. Okay, hold on. I really like the effects on this one. It kind of gave it a lot of extra points there. Yeah, okay. This one's solid. And let's see, what colors? I can't even say there's like actual colors with this one. I mean, there are, but it's like a big mixture of colors, I think. All right, what's the recall? Oh, I love the sound effect. That one was really good. Okay, that skin was awesome. Ooh, Little Demon Tristana, huh? Little Demon? Oh, she looks awesome. Oh my god, she looks amazing, actually. With the tail and everything. The voices? The horns? Have we had another Little Demon skin at all? Because we need more Little Demon skins for maybe all the Yordles? That would be sick to have Little Demon skins for all of them, because this is awesome. The Boomer just looks like a... I don't even know. But it looks cool. All right, what colors are we getting? Obviously, we're getting like black and blue with the outfit. I guess we're getting like a like black and blues for the effects as well. Makes sense. So this one has some additional sound or voice lines, obviously. Oh, she summons another little demon and the angel on the other side. Devil and angel. And eats the angel and shoots it. That was awesome. That skin was so fun. All right, next is Omega Squad. Okay. We've seen a few Omega Squad skins.
Here comes the boom.
Ooh, I like the hat. Tristana skins? Hold on. I think there's been banger after banger in all of these. Ooh, I like how her cannon's almost like a, I don't know, like an energy cannon. So we're going with greens and blacks here mostly. Several variations of green. We got a little like C4 dynamite for the stack. Explosive of some kind. Yeah, I think all of her skins have been kind of bangers so far.
Back to base.
And the recall. Oh, just like taking cover, firing back. Not even taking cover. Oh, getting extracted out via helicopter. That's cool. Oh, hold on. You guys know I like my Bewitching skins. Man, she's getting such good skins. Okay, Bewitching Tristana. The splash art looks okay, so I'm worried what we're going to get here. Cauldron as the cannon. That's awesome. We got a witch's hat. Not really getting to see her face, obviously, from this angle. We're getting like purple and yellow. So kind of like witch magic a little bit. I like the purple effects. I think that's perfect. I mean, it is an awesome skin. And a pumpkin makes sense for the stack. Yep. Ooh, I was going to say, hey, what does the pumpkin change into? That's awesome. I mean, that's a perfect Halloween fall skin to use for sure. I mean, Fairy Court, I said, was one as well, but I think I would probably just end up using this one. Running up to Halloween. Is she going to get like a frost skin? Probably, right? I feel like every character I know of has some sort of like Freljord or frost skin. So we'll see if that one's coming up next. Okay, we're getting to see the face and everything a little bit more. I wish there was more done to like actual Tristana here, but the outfit's awesome and the cauldron's cool and the cat is also cool. Okay, what is this one? Okay, this is Dragon Trainer Tristana. So I did see that Dragon Trainer. This is actually cool. I saw that it has a login screen. It probably has additional voices. So this better be pretty cool. And then, you know, I just saw How to Train Your Dragon recently, the live action one. So, you know, maybe I'll have some bias towards this one after seeing that recently.
He likes his food well done.
Okay. We got a little dragon as your cannon. That's pretty funny. Pretty cool. She's got Dragon Trainer goggles. I like the hair. Obviously, we're going to get like a lot of like red, oranges, blacks with the dragon effects. Is that a dragon egg or what is that? What kind of effect is that? I can't even tell. Maybe that's just like lava or magma stacking. Oh, that was a cool shot. All right, what do we have next? Ah, feeding the little dragon. That's cute. That's just a fun one. I like that. Oh, we're seeing the death animation. Oh, that's terrible. I don't want to see that. Oh. The respawn? Oh, that's cute. Redemption. At least they do the respawn next.
Aw, look at your little arms.
Oh, and see, you get this too. You literally ride on the little dragon. That's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, there's more.
Wriggle.
Oh, emotes.
Speak. Close enough.
Aw, that's cute. Feels very dog-like, huh?
You're playing with fire.
Okay, I do that with my cat. I definitely dance with my cat like that. Oh man, there's so many emotes for this one. How old is the skin too? I feel like it might be decently old and it had a lot going on with it. Next up is Rocket Girl Tristana. Okay, this one definitely looks on the older side here with the splash art.
Things are heating up. Woo.
Okay, I think that's supposed to be a rocket cannon, and you are shooting rockets. But for some reason it reminds me of lipstick. Because like you just see that little red part sticking out. So it looks like a little lipstick thing. The hair is interesting. Spiked up like that. And then we got like some sort of mine for the stack. Okay. I think overall not a bad skin. And our recall. You better like, I was gonna say ride a rocket. The way she stood on it like that. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you better ride that rocket out of here. Ooh, okay. Buccaneer Tristana. We've only, I think we've seen like a couple of Buccaneer skins, but maybe not. Sometimes I get like the Bilgewater kind of skins mixed up. All right, so yeah, okay, Buccaneer Tristana would make sense to kind of have a traditional cannon. You know, maybe with some little flair to it, but no, that looks like a traditional like pirate ship cannon. I like all the little hats they're giving her. And then we have like a spiked cannonball for the stack. Okay. Yeah, they keep giving Tristana a lot of like kind of cute hats, I think. All right, recall. Let's see what. Oh, okay, same thing. Okay, so the rocket animation, all of these are gonna have that same recall. That's kind of cool though. The rocket one actually fit it perfectly. Ooh, what is this? So Gorilla Tristana. So I feel like this is a mixture of like Omega Squad and Buccaneer almost with like, but she's a gorilla fighter. So yeah, I guess there's a little bit of a difference. The headband. The cannon looks the same though. Well, no, it looks a little different. At this point, we're not really getting any effects anymore. We're just getting the different outfits, yeah. Okay, so the spike is literally the default. Okay, I got it. And our recall. Same dealio. Cool. I just think it's funny that she just puts her arms out like this. Like, take me. Firefighter. Ooh, that's actually cool. Let me see how this actually works with the water. Is she gonna just shoot water, like bullets? And there's a splash effect. Okay, you know, that's fun. I think the firefighter stuff. I think who else has a firefighter skin? There's got to be another one. Let me know in the comments, I guess. I think this one's cool because, it, you know, she has like a giant hose for her cannon. The water effects are fun. You hear like all the water noises. That's like a, that's like the fire station alarm. That's pretty cool. That's a fun little thing. All right, let's see the recall though. I mean, I guess it'll probably be the same. Yeah. All right, 2 more skins. There we go. I was like, she's gonna have some sort of either like Christmas kind of skin or she's gotta have like some sort of Frost or Froyordian skin. Here it is, Earnest Elf Tristana. Kind of an early skin for her. Making Tristana into an elf. That makes sense. So, okay, it's literally just the cannon, but they just like put a lot of like Christmas decorations around it. That's cool. That's fair enough. What is she shooting? Is it just regular cannons? It'd be cool if she was shooting coal. Is that what she's shooting? I can't tell. Maybe the stacks would be coal. No, that's a missed opportunity for it to be coal, man. I know she's not Santa, but... And the same old recall. Okay, I think solid skin if you want to use that during Christmas time. And last but not least is Riot Girl Tristana. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, kind of just like a punk kind of skin, right? A little bit. The cannon is pink. A lot of pink here. Pink hair. Pink cannon. I like the goggles. I like the little accessories. Like I said, the accessories I think have been kind of some of the best things for her. Oh, I like the smiley face, the winking smiley face on the cannon. Very punk as well. Yeah, the accessories and the hats and everything they've been giving Tristana have been top tier. All right, and of course the recall, and it's of course going to be the same thing, but we'll just watch it one last time. All right, guys, so I need to hear from you. What are your favorite skins for Tristana? I'm going to go ahead and pick my top 3. This is actually going to be a little difficult. So, you know, Dragon Trainer has all the extra stuff with it, but you know, I actually have some better skins that I liked for Tristana over those. And you know what? I'm actually not picking the Bewitching skin this time either because I think it had some lackluster stuff with Tristana overall, but I did love it quite a bit. Again, I thought all of these early skins, or like these newer skins, I guess, are pretty fire. But this is kind of, okay, no, this is kind of a clear winner for me. It is personally going to be Little Demon. I loved Little Demon. I also loved Pengu cosplay because of the effects. The effects were so fun to me. I think that's perfect. I think Hextech's good. I think Firecracker's good. I think Fairy Court's good. But the next one for me is Spirit Blossom. I really love the look of Tristana here. I loved all the purple and black smoky effects. I think that's definitely top tier for me as well. So those are my 3 favorite. Let me know in the comments, though, what your favorite skin is. All right, everybody, on the wiki, we're taking a look here. A lot of this is repeat, like the early life stuff. Everything on the right-hand side, we kind of already know. And it looks like it's missing some information here on meeting Lulu, saving Teemo, and the appearance. The meeting Lulu and saving Teemo, I think all just comes from the, like, Don't Mess with Yordles trailer. What we do have, though, is personality. Tristana has a very rowdy and impulsive personality. She's very excitable, especially when it comes to fighting, and more often than not tends to act without much forethought in spite of how much she truly means well. One of Tristana's most defining traits is her ambition towards becoming a hero and creating her own adventure, being the reason why she became the feisty and strong-willed powerhouse she is today in the first place. Tristana is also incredibly selfless in spite of how scatterbrained and wacky she is otherwise, as she has protected Bandle City's gateways from mortals of Runeterra to the point of inspiring other Yordles to protect the city as well. For abilities, cannon proficiency, there's a reason why she carries a cannon around. Yordle physiology, so we already know all about that. Immortality, being spiritual beings, Yordles don't age the same way as normal humans. They can't normally die. And then Yordle magic, just like any other Yordle, Tristana is capable of performing Yordle magic. Okay, so then we have a little bit of relations here. So it says other Yordles, Tristana, Teemo, Lulu, and Corki are friends. Tristana finds Lulu to be quite a handful and a bothersome Yordle, but appreciates her willingness to help. Rumble has an obvious crush on Tristana, having named his mech Tristy after her. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't dived into any of these other Yordles except for Teemo. Draven had encountered both Lulu and Tristana, fought and fled from them during his return trip from Basilic to Noxus Prime. And then Graves captured Teemo for the bounty on Yordles, while Twisted Fate refuses because messing with Yordles brings a whole heap of trouble. Corki, Lulu, and Tristana fought Graves when trying to save Teemo, which ended up in Graves being turned into a frog and the Yordles escaping. Which we've seen that trailer, I think, twice now, or that cinematic. All right, in terms of content for Tristana, they have the Yordle Gunner, which we read. We read A Quiet Night. There is the Don't Mess with Yordles video we've seen a couple times. And then there's another short story called The Whispering Doodad. We're not going to get into that. I think that was mentioned, or we read a little bit about that short story. All right, so moving on, trivia. It says, it is implied, practically by players, that Tristana and Teemo are in a relationship. Okay, although they are only said to have a strong bond between them. And then there's another note. Interestingly enough, Tristana has been seen in stories and shorts, mostly in company of Lulu, despite the attempts of Tristana to keep her away from danger caused by the sorceress herself most of times. Okay, so the Tristana Teemo thing, you guys let me know more about that because I feel like they're never hanging out. I don't know. Tristana may have no comprehension of what danger means because of certain interactions. Her rocket jump causes an explosion that could be considered dangerous in some or all contexts. She literally checked Graves' shotgun holes when being literally pointed with them at her face, later noticing what kind of situation she's into. Her unsafe and comical likes for explosions, rockets, and the fact that she uses her weapon and recall to launch herself back to the fountain. That's a good point. Lack of helmet, which she knows that exists in her quote, "Who wears a helmet?" And then these are all ironic because she always keeps Lulu out of any danger, mainly because of the annoyance she causes. Yeah, that's very interesting. So she's just very like casual about danger, basically. Of all Yordles that are currently known that are still in Bandle City, Tristana appears to be the tallest, excluding accessories like hats, helmets, or mechs. Okay. We got our tallest Yordle in Bandle City. All right, guys, let's move on to the fun part. I know you guys are waiting for those voice lines. We're going to do Legends of Runeterra first and move on to the League of Legends ones right after. All right, guys, here we are. We're going to start off with special interactions on Legends of Runeterra, and then we'll move over to the Wiki and do all the League stuff. All right, so here we go. Tristana in Legends of Runeterra. I guess enemy arrives, and it's an enemy Tristana, so I don't know what's going to happen here.
Clever disguise, fiend. Also quite a fetching one. An enemy infiltration unit. This just got interesting.
Okay.
You throw
pretty
a
funny.
bomb at one Bandle gunner, you throw it at us all.
Yeah, that's why they're called explosives.
All right,
That's the first time I've ever heard
attention.
Ziggs.
Scouts, show them we came prepared. Wanna see a trick?
Wanna see a gun?
Okay, hold on. That's kind of funny.
Prepared for anything.
Oh, I'm prepared, traitor.
Your esteemed mayor has arrived. Has the battle started?
I'm sure your speech will cheer us on regardless. Bandle City #1.
Oh, jeez.
Gunners get 'em jobs done.
Oh, no. No more
Can you
singing,
capture
please.
the heroism of Bandle gunners from a painting?
Yeah.
Vandal painter.
I'll paint in bright colors.
Yeah, I do have a speech here. Where did I put it?
It's okay, Mayor. Just start applauding, furballs.
Okay, the Bandle City mayor, he's clearly too old.
Bandle gunners, this is why we fight.
Actually, do we know how old the Bandle City mayor is? I'm so curious.
Attention and salute.
So the Bandle tree
This
is a
what we
card.
protect, furballs.
It's a landmark.
Look at them, shaking in their boots. Hey, hurry up so I can shoot you again. Let's just do a frontal assault. That always works.
Frontal
A bad
assault.
plan is better than no plan.
She might be right.
That's the way the Bandle gunners do. Hooray for the Bandle gunners. That's my squad.
Okay, lots of Bandle gunners talk.
Never defeated, never backing down. Wait, what happened?
She's very proud of the
Noodle
Bandle
flakes.
gunner. Noodle flakes? Huh?
Looking splendid, sir. Very mayoral.
You know his hat and moustache are key, you know? Inspires trust and all that.
I like the mayor's voice.
Tristana, over here. You can sit next to me.
Thanks, Mayor. You're doing a great job, as usual.
They seem like they have a good relationship there, but like Tristana just kind of glazes him a little bit.
I should make
Bandle
I got
Commando.
your 6 shortcakes.
Love it, Big Mama. Let's bring this home.
She called her shortcakes? Aren't they all short?
I
Okay. She called her Big Mama, too. All right, so that looks like that's it for the video. We're going to go straight over to the wiki, though, finish up those, and then we'll talk about all of the Legends of Runeterra voice lines. All right, so let's go to the wiki here. So Tristana is voiced by Amber Connor in Legends of Runeterra, and the troll featured in her artwork was named Jean after a poll on Twitter. That's so random. All right, let's listen to some more voice lines here.
Locked, loaded, and ready to rocket.
These are the summoned voice lines.
Reporting for duty.
Duty.
All right, furballs, attention.
Okay, so she's being like, you know, the Bandle Gunners leader here.
Scouts wear helmets. Gunners carry guns.
Very gun-oriented.
Firepower solves everything.
Okay, for Tristana, it probably does. All right, enemy cannon present.
Firepower solves everything.
Okay, same thing.
Your technique lacks technique.
We get a little bit of repeats here. So allied Lux illuminated present.
Locked, loaded, and ready to rocket.
Now that's the type of enthusiasm I like.
And then another one.
Reporting for duty.
We'll just do the Tristana side. Okay, enemy rumble present.
Duty calls, Rumble.
Okay, speaking directly to Rumble there. And then we have enemy Yordle Explorer.
An enemy infiltration unit. This just got interesting.
Okay. All right, and then we have allied cannon.
Are you ready for anything?
Never heard Kennen speak, actually, either.
I'm always armed.
Okay. Allied Rumble.
Hey, Tristana, after the battle, would you like to go,
Oh, he is hitting on her.
Volunteer for extra training? Glad to hear it, soldier.
And Tristana is just like not seeing the signs. And then we have an enemy Rumble.
Can't believe I named my mech after you.
There's the confirmation of naming it after Tristana.
Wait, you did what?
She got real serious there. All right, and then we have Allied Yordle Explorer.
I got point. You lay down covering fire from the bushes, okay?
Okay, she's giving out commands.
You want me to light the bushes on fire? Bandor City Scout, reporting for duty, hey?
A duty.
Recruit, where is your uniform? Wait, where's your weapon? Okay, Geardo, lay it out. What's
Geardo.
the intel?
The enemy is over that way, somewhere, but I found this stuff.
Okay. Doesn't have very serious squad mates, it seems like. All right, we have enemy Yordle Explorer.
I thought this was an expedition. Are those weapons?
I'm always armed.
I'm always armed. That's a great response, actually, for Tristana. I feel like that almost sums up Tristana, right? All right, and then we have level up voice lines.
Vandal Gunner Tristana going in.
Just charging forward.
I'm Tristana, and I take point.
Okay.
Blasting off. Bye-bye, bad guys.
She is very excited to go into combat. All right, now we're doing spells and skills. So we got Buster Shot.
It's boom time. One big barrel. Eat lead.
Eat lead's a good one. And then attacks declared.
Taking point. I call frontline.
She clearly wants to go first every time when it comes to combat,
Engaging.
which is kind of the opposite of what commandos should be doing.
Bring the boom.
They should be kind of like doing that, but also like commanding. I don't know. And then blocks declared. She's like your...
Covering fire.
She's literally like your typical like run and gunner kind of character that just like wants to go in immediately, right? That's the idea I'm getting for her.
Holding position.
That's perfect for blocks declared.
Winners don't duck.
Winners don't duck.
To the front lines.
And front lines again. Okay, ability effect.
Let's get 'em, squad. Vandal Gunners. Follow me. Double team. Gunners form up.
Okay, so those were all just typical commands that she would give. And then we have her death sound.
Oof. Keep fighting.
Oof is a funny one.
Keep shooting.
Keep shooting. Perfect for Tristana. And then we have chosen voice line.
That's right, Chief. Send me in. Deployment.
Deployment removed from choice.
No, not the rear guard, please.
She doesn't even want to be in the back. She says, please don't put me in the rear guard. And then we have victory.
That's the way the Vandal Gunners do. Hooray for the Vandal Gunners. That's my squad.
Okay, well, she's very proud of her. Like, she takes her Bandle Gunners very serious. I just don't think the Bandle Gunners take it very serious. Okay, so let's talk about all of the Legends of Runeterra voice lines. Yeah, like I said, a lot of funny little interactions with, I would say, the mayor. So clearly, she's kind of like glazing the mayor a little bit. Or maybe all the Yordles do this, but she's basically just like, the mayor seems like he is an old man for sure. He acts like an old man, doesn't know where he is half the time. And Tristana's just like, oh, you're doing great, mayor, you keep doing you, kind of interactions with him. We did have confirmation here with Rumble. So Rumble literally named his mech after Tristana. And I think Tristana is just, not only is she oblivious to danger, I think she's obviously oblivious to like flirtatiousness anyways as well. Like just anybody flirting with her just doesn't even like, that's not even going to cross her mind. She's not even thinking about it. I think the only two things she's thinking about is like Bandle Gunner stuff and protecting the Bandlewood. Like that's it. Maybe like in combat, right? She probably dreams about combat. That's clearly her priority. Yeah, and then okay, so a lot of the voice lines here obviously are talking about shooting, being in the front lines, and like giving commands to her Bandle Gunners. That's pretty much the gist of a lot of her voice lines. She obviously seems to be the happiest when she's in combat. She obviously seems to be the happiest when she's in danger, basically. That's like another way of saying it. But yeah, I mean, that's the gist of Tristana. I'm wondering how, you know, I think the League of Legends voice lines are going to be older, so I'm going to be curious, one, if it's voiced by somebody different, and also two, what kind of other voice lines are we going to get in the League of Legends ones. So let's go ahead and check those out next. All right, everybody, I do see that there is voice lines for Classic and Dragon Trainer. We're just going to be taking a look at Classic today. Let's just dive in here. You know, knowing what we know about Tristana, we might get some repeats from Legends of Runeterra. Who knows? But let's start off with Champion Select. Makes sense that it would be the cannon shot.
Once a bandle gunner, always a bandle gunner.
Okay. Well, the voice does sound a little more tame here.
Let me get in there.
And I can't tell if it's the same voice actress or not. Okay, so first move.
I call frontline.
Yep.
I bravely volunteer to charge in recklessly.
Bravely volunteer.
Locked, loaded, and ready to rock it.
Yeah, it's like a different tone of the way the lines are being delivered here, I think. All right, so moving voice lines.
Walking tall.
Walking tall's hilarious. I'm sorry.
Let's get this party started. Where's the action?
Where's the action?
Bring on the bad guys.
Again, I told you guys, I think she's just dreaming of action, right?
Who wears a helmet?
Ah, that's a fun one. Who wears a helmet? That goes in line with what we were saying earlier, where she just doesn't care about danger, I think.
Get in my way. I dare ya.
Ooh, I like that one.
I dare ya to dare me.
What?
You don't hurt him if you don't hit him.
Mm.
Sometimes outnumbered, never outgunned.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Let me get in there.
Let me get in there. She wants the front
Winners don't duck.
Including not having a helmet, she also doesn't duck.
I just need a point in the right direction. I might just drop in. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
A bandle gunner never turns tail. Unless it's to taunt you.
Ah, okay.
Maybe we should shoot faster.
Shooting faster.
Orders are more like guidelines, really. Wanna see the fireworks?
Wait. I went past that last one way too fast. Orders are like guidelines?
If it's worth shooting once, it's probably worth shooting a lot.
That's called overkill, but sure. Okay, first encounter with a moo-moo. Interesting.
Anyone ever tell you you're a little clingy?
Oh. You know, I still don't know a moo-moo's full story. You know, I learned about a moo-moo a while ago, but we got to do that reaction still. I feel like there's not much, though. Caitlin?
Is that gun full-sized?
Oh, calling Caitlin's gun small is so funny. First encounter with Corky.
You're not the only Yordle who knows how to fly, Corky.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, except she uses her freaking cannon to launch herself.
Try to keep up, old-timer.
Okay, and then...
Hey, Specs. What's cooking?
Oh, she would call me Specs then with my glasses. And then we have Jinx.
When you find the right gun, you only need one.
Okay, so yeah, we're noticing that she's interacting with a lot of other people that have, you know, guns. Caitlin, Jinx, of course. Now we have Rumble again.
Nice suit, Rumble. What do you call it?
Oh, that's funny, because we know what he calls it.
Eyes on the enemy, Rumble.
Ah, he's actually looking at Tristana and not the enemy. He is really into Tristana. Okay, and then we have Teemo.
Teemo, are these mushrooms your rations or your ammo?
Both, probably, right? Then we have Vhagar.
Oh, Vhagar! Tell me all about your diabolical plan.
I love the delivery on that one.
Oh, Vhagar, you're cute when you're angry.
And then Ziggs.
Watch who you're exploding, Ziggs!
That seems to be the only thing I know about Ziggs, to be honest with you, and especially in TFT. And then we have her taunts. She huffs and grunts in effort.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, weird taunt.
Ta-da! You make it easy to be unimpressed.
That's a good
Think
one.
you can outshoot me?
I'm sure there are people that can outshoot Tristana, but we'll let her have that one. And then we have her jokes. She has 4.
Is that a rocket in your pocket?
Oh my, really? Are we doing that?
Please allow my cannon and I to conflict resolve.
Okay.
This is my 357 caliber handgun. A cannonball is the best icebreaker.
Okay. Then we have Tristana's laughs. Tristana laughs gleefully. It almost sounds like a regular laugh, to be honest. Okay, and then we have some dances from Tristana. Oh boy.
Let him come by land, by sea or air. Send him running home when the bandle gunners blare.
Okay, so we have like the Bandle Gunners song, basically.
1 stump high and 10 stumps tall. Bandle gunners, show 'em all.
Okay, is this an official Bandle Gunners like theme song here?
Bandle gunners, what you see? Surge of smoke and victory.
And then Tristana humming. I figure she would be humming the same tune. Okay, very nice. That sounds familiar. I don't know, that's like a Boy Scout, Girl Scout kind of thing, or like, you guys let me know. Maybe it'll be in the trivia, like where that actually like tune comes from. All right, let's get into the attacking voice lines.
Woo!
Just
Whoa.
woo.
Ha! 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 Yeah!
Just a lot of grunts and huffs.
Yeah!
Okay, actual attacking voice lines.
Boomer says hi.
Boomer says hi. That's a good
Leave
one.
it to me. Things are heating up. War stories don't write themselves.
War stories? We wanting to create war stories?
Last one ends on latrine duty.
Ah, the classic latrine duty.
Let's get in range.
Okay.
I can eyeball it.
Eyeball it.
I'm going in. Watch this. Ready? Aim, fire.
Okay, there's your classic, like, actual cannon, you know, like terminology.
Blast 'em. Engaging. Light 'em up. Here comes the boom.
Here comes the boom. Oh, boy.
Direct hit.
Okay.
We've got this. I got you covered.
Got you covered.
Nothing a little gunpowder won't fix.
Of course.
They joined the wrong army.
I feel like I've heard that one. Maybe I've heard that, like, in TFT or something.
I got this one. Check the kick on this sucker.
Not her getting excited about the kick on a gun. Okay, so now we have her abilities. Starting off with rapid fire.
Now we're cooking. Who wants some? You want some? Come on. Full volley. Double time.
Double time.
Fire at will. Don't let up.
She's just spraying and praying, basically.
More where that came from.
And then we have her rocket jump.
Look out below.
Ah, that's good.
Up and over. Blast off.
Uh-huh, blast off.
Just passing through.
Okay.
Shortcut.
Shortcut.
Woo.
And then we got some grunts and puffs and huffs from Tristana.
Wah. Yeah. Hup.
And then a little laugh.
Ha.
Okay, landing on an enemy champion, though, with rocket jump.
Splat.
Splat is perfect. There's a couple of
Didn't see that coming,
splats.
did ya? Surprise.
She's probably just going to say them a little bit differently.
Thanks for breaking my fall.
That's funny.
Splat.
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 And then while using it while at critical health. Oh, really? Okay. So like running away.
Whoa. Retreat. Almost.
Retreating with Tristana. Feel like that's not her thing. Obviously in game it probably is.
Oh boy.
Oh
Can't
boy.
touch this.
Oh no, not the can't touch this. All right, now using explosive charge.
Mind the fuse.
Mind the fuse.
Hold this. Tag.
Tag is great.
Tick tock.
As well as TikTok. That's perfect.
You're in trouble now. Clock's ticking. Stuck 'em. Yeah.
And then we got some huffs. Okay, using Buster Shot next. Oh, I was waiting for this, honestly.
Cannonball.
Cannonball, like, come on. That's perfect for her.
Bombs away. Airmail.
Airmail.
Pilot to bombardier. Boo. Nope.
Just straight up nope.
See ya.
I like that. See ya.
Over there, Buster.
Okay. This is obviously the one where that pushes them back.
Point blank is the only blank I like.
Point blank is the only blank I like. That's so perfect, actually, because obviously blanks would not be... Blanks would probably piss Tristana off.
Hi there.
Hi there. And hands off.
Hands off.
Okay, killing a champion.
Dropping like flies. Hey, where'd you go?
Where'd you go?
Cannon fodder.
Oh, cannon fodder
Target
as well.
freaking annihilated.
That one is so good.
Nothing like overkill. Now you see him. Now you don't.
That's funny. There's actually a new movie coming out titled that.
Get chunked.
Get chunked?
Splat. Splat. Splat.
More splats? Okay, killing a champion and surviving at critical health. Oh, specifically that.
Can't wait to tell the recruits about that one.
More
Any
war
landing
stories.
you can walk away from. I should really start thinking about plan Bs.
Again, there we go with the oblivious to danger kind of thing.
Maybe I cut that a little close.
Also, no plan. Just bad plans is better than no plan kind of thing.
Need a breather. I was never worried.
Okay. Yeah, that's the problem.
That was scary.
I like that one. All right, scoring a multi-kill.
Keep 'em coming. You should try fanning out. Full house.
Full house.
Twofer. Score. Thanks for clumping.
Thanks for clumping. Okay, scoring a pentakill.
How's that for a Bandle City beatdown?
Bandle City beatdown. Scoring an ace.
Clean sweep.
Okay, and then destroying a turret.
Who needs a fort?
Probably you.
You're gonna need a bigger castle.
Ah, that's a funny one.
Bringing down the house.
She has some classic lines here, I feel like. You know, like classic references.
Huff, puff, boom.
All right, and we have some shopping voice lines specifically for some items.
Do you sell earplugs too? Oh, that looks cool.
She would definitely need some earplugs.
Is this blast proof? Let's see if this makes it through the first explosion.
Solid questions.
Can't wait to try this out. Ooh, I like the look of this, baby.
She gets real excited shopping.
I'm gonna need the extended warranty.
All right, buying the blade of the Ruined King.
Does this make me royalty?
Buying Bloodthirster. Obviously, I know that from TFT.
Sweet. Kinda gross, but sweet.
Okay.
It can keep the blood. I'm thirsty for action.
It can keep the blood. Okay, Guardian Angel.
All the risk and none of the consequences? I'm sold.
Yeah, literally. That makes sense.
Time to live dangerously. Some people like backup plans. I like charge-in plans.
Of course you do. Buying Infinity Edge.
Infinity anything is pretty awesome.
I'm not sure about that.
If there's a sword for making things explode, this is it.
Okay. Buying Last Whisper.
It won't be so much a whisper as a deafening explosion.
Right, okay. She probably likes
Cannons
loud.
versus armor? Cannons win. I don't take cover. I take cover out.
I take it out, okay? And then buying the Mercurial Scimitar. Never seen that actually before.
No slowing me down now. Perfect for cutting loose.
Okay.
Nets, snares, vines, meet your worst nightmare.
And then buying Phantom Dancer.
Time to fill up my dance card.
Okay, and then we're moving on to... Awesome. Okay, let's go on to placing a ward.
On lookout. Eyes open. Watching our backs. Watch the brush.
Okay.
Overwatch.
These are all pretty good. And then we have her recall voice lines.
Time for some rearm and redeploy.
She's just ready to get back out there.
Back to base. Falling back.
And then we have her death noises. Tristana coughs crying out. Tristana yells in pain. And then Tristana yells in pain and exhales. Okay, these aren't too bad because we've heard some crazy ones before. And then we have her respawns.
Gotta get back out there.
Already back out there.
Back to the action. Up and at 'em.
All right, guys, that is it. She actually had a lot of voice lines for, I feel like the Yordles, I can pretty much rely on Yordles having a lot of voice lines, no matter how old they are. I just feel like that's one of the more fleshed out kind of characters in the world of Runeterra when it comes to voice lines, just because, I don't know, maybe just Riot doesn't feel like, whenever they put out a Yordle, they don't want to, they have to include a bunch of voice lines for them. I don't know. That just seems like what I've gotten so far from all of the Yordles we've done. Including Fizz and the others we've done. So, okay, let's look at the trivia here. So here comes the boom references. Here comes the boom. Yeah, we obviously know what that comes from. Is that a rocket in your pocket is a variant of Mae West's famous quote. I think of something else as well. I don't know who Mae West is. Orders, or more like guidelines, really, is possibly a reference to the quote of Captain Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules. Okay, I think that's actually played by Captain Barbossa. I think one of the Skarsgård actors. Blast 'em is a possible reference to stormtroopers from Star Wars. Yep, they do say blast 'em. Tristana's pick quote, once a bandle gunner, always a bandle gunner, might be referencing Arsenal FC, whose nickname is the Gunners, and their motto, once a gunner, always a gunner. Well, you can see, this voice line is like used in anything. Once a blank, always a blank. Like that's used all around in any case. The old quote, ooh, look, I'm a shock trooper, is a pun on electricity and shock troops. I did not see that voice line. In the Italian localization, Cannonball is sung in the style of Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. Oh, that's so funny. I kind of wish the regular one was, or the English one. In the Brazilian localization, Tristana has a special quote referencing Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. Well, that's fun. Why, though? And then Tristana shares quotes with Bombs Away, which is Corky and Ziggs, and then Now We're Cookin', which is with Rumble. Okay, you know what? And I feel like this is the case... Actually, this is the case maybe half the time. I wouldn't say it's always the case. But I really enjoyed the Legends of Runeterra voice lines, I think, quite a bit more. And of course, that could be because, they're newer, they were updated. It has nothing to do with like the delivery of the voice lines or anything like that. It's just the actual voice lines that we got in the Legends of Runeterra ones. There had a little bit more variety. We had more interactions. Although I did like the interactions here with like Caitlyn and Rumble and Jinx a little bit, like some of that stuff there. I did like that. But overall, I think a lot of the like moving voice lines, attacking voice lines were kind of clever, but a lot of it was kind of just like repeat in another sense, right? So like light them up, direct hit, we've got this, here comes the boom. Like all that stuff is kind of like just around the same kind of voice lines. While Legends of Runeterra ones, I think we're a little bit more all over the place, but like in the sense of creativity. So I really like those quite a bit more. I mean, okay, so Tristana, I think, is pretty easy to understand what she wants to do, what makes her happy, what she loves doing, which is clearly just being on the front lines in combat and wanting to fight. She's oblivious to danger in any fashion. We understand that. She has these Bandle Gunners that she takes very seriously, and she wants to protect the Bandlewood. So yeah, I feel like, you know, this whole reaction to Tristana, we were able to grasp all of the core concepts to her. I don't think there's much depth, honestly, going on with Tristana more than what we just said. And that's not a bad thing. There doesn't necessarily need to be crazy in-depth thing. I feel like, though, for Tristana, and this is kind of a case for a lot of the Yordles that I think we've done, they don't really have like a crazy, serious goal usually. I feel like the Yordles are just kind of hanging around. They have a semi-serious goal, but it's never like world ending like some of the other champions we've taken a look at. You know what I mean? Like Veigar's goal isn't as gonna be as serious as like, I don't know, Aurelion Sol's goal or Bard's goal, like some of those celestial beings, right? And you know, even people like Azir, stuff like that, right? Like they have kind of world-ending, world-important goals. Not saying Yordles aren't important or don't have world-important goals. I do feel like Tristana, though, doesn't kind of necessarily have anything crazy going on with her. And I think that's kind of the core concept of Yordles, though, is they're kind of supposed to be kind of funny, kind of carefree beings in the world of Runeterra. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but like that's kind of the idea that I get. When you think of a Yordle, first and foremost, besides Vex, my initial thought is it's probably like a funny character, or they're just like kind of a goofy character, right? Not all of them are, obviously, right? And I haven't reacted to all of them. Heimerdinger, I'm sure, is very, you know, obviously we've seen him in, even what we've seen of Heimerdinger in Arcane, he was kind of goofy at times, right? That was just kind of what Yordles are supposed to be, I think. And I think that's what, you know, Riot is doing with Yordles. But anyways, I digress. We're talking random stuff there. We just went on a little rant. I had a good time with Tristana. I do want to hear from you guys, though. Tristana's been in the game for a while. Do we have any Tristana mains in the comments? Let us know. How is Tristana doing in the current meta? Has she kind of been like over, like, because I feel like there's similar characters, I'm sure, to Tristana. You have your characters like Caitlyn who have range, characters like Ashe, right? Like there's a lot of characters that have range like that and movement abilities. I'm just wondering how good Tristana is, maybe to compare it to some of the other ones. All right, everybody, please do leave a thumbs up as always on the video. Consider subscribing if you don't subscribe already, and leave in the comments suggestions on who I should react to next. I do want to go through every single League of Legends character, so we're gonna get there eventually, and we'll continue to do the new characters as they come out as well. So let me know who I should react to next. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.